Alrighty, everybody, welcome to a Week 8 Walkers matchup. We've got CyberPunk Otters, the number 1 seed, the undefeated, only dropping 2 games so far this season, playing against Baba's Kitchen, looking to get back in the right win category against the number 1 seed. I'm T-Pity1, I'll be your chair 1. On chair 2, we got Mr. Nacho, and on production, we got Salty. How are we feeling about this matchup, Nacho?
I'm feeling fantastic. I think it's always fun to watch Small Face in particular play. I think he's just always comes out and has a dominant performance on just about any pick. I mean, I've seen him play Rat, and so it's just always entertaining.
Yeah, he's certainly someone to watch on this Cyberpunk Otters team and out of that solo lane. But we're getting into some of these bands. We see Sobek and Odin for Cyberpunk Otters. Sobek just kind of the top support right now. Odin, after getting those buffs, he's also extremely strong, and they follow that up with a Thanatos band. While Baba's Kitchen go more, Kukulkan, Charon. We see 2 support bands coming out early, making sure these supports don't get some of their top gods, and honestly, just some top gods in the meta. Looking at both of these 3 bands, what are your thoughts?
I mean, standard stuff so far. I mean, Odin should probably be banned just about every single game. I mean, this Daji ban may be a little bit strange to me, unless you're looking for Thoth, but Instead, we see Hachiman. So, I mean,
Yeah.
relatively just standard stuff across the board right now. I mean, the first pick, Jing Qian, is a little bit weird, but other than that, I think everything's relatively standard.
Yeah, Jing did just get that buff, and he's been a hot commodity in that solo lane with that HP5 build. The Daji ban is going to be targeted towards Vanilla Bun, so Cyberpunk have their sub jungler coming in to fill for berry toppings. She played Daji earlier in the season. I think went 8-1 on her, and then played her again and went like 4-2 or something like that. So definitely a target ban, trying to get her off of a comfort pick. But in response to the Jing Tian, we see the Hachiman locked and going towards Paradox. That's been one of the picks that he's gone towards throughout this season, and the Terra lock. That's certainly interesting. I know she's annoying after that buff, and you're starting to see her get played a little bit more. What do we think about the top picks for both of these sides?
I mean, I think Terra is incredible into Jingqian. I mean, if that Jingqian does go either solo or support, he's not going to be able to like do the standard thing of just picking up a support and making them miserable. As long as Terra just has a stone on the ground, going to be completely immune to those knockups. And interesting, more so to see the Awilix pick come after, especially like this early in a draft. I mean, there's plenty of things that play decent into Awilix from just about every position left open.
Yeah, the Willix is early, especially after seeing the knockup immune Terra is certainly interesting.
And
We see
that's
the
one of them.
Charybdis also locked in. And in response, an RDO. So we don't know. We've seen a Terra solo coming up, but could also be RDO solo. We don't know who's going to go where, but just questioning the Awilix pick a little bit. Like you said, things that can go into the Awilix if you pick it this early. And I think that's a pick that they probably could have left until the second half of picks and bans. But RDO Terra, that's something about 3 weeks ago you would not have seen
Oh,
under any
absolutely. If you
circumstances.
told me 3 weeks ago that you were gonna be like slamming Terra RDO, I would have called you like actually just not an intelligent person. But I
With the
do really
Jing
like
Tian on the other
this.
side.
Yeah, I do really like this RDO pick. I mean, Awilix is going to have an incredibly difficult time doing anything around that cripple field. So it's just again, I'm just keep falling back to this Awilix pick this early in the draft. It's just really rough to play around. But we see Ares Thoth bans from Babas and Ratatasker Marty bans. I do like the Marty ban, ensuring they can't go that standard double ADC, but AMC is still available. A little bit rough in Jing, but not too bad.
Yeah, I know Scooby Daddy Doo is 100% a Marty player. He actually pulled out Marty whenever we played him. Marty's very good. So that's a great band from Cyberpunk. And obviously the rap band, one of Pv's top gods, but he's also got the Ravana, he's also got the Alquang, the Thanatos. He's got some, I guess Thanatos got banned, but he's got these gods that he can run around to. I don't know about the rap band. And on the other side, just kind of standard bands from Baba's Kitchen. Nobody wants to play into a Thoth. Nobody wants to play into an Ares. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Kepri or a Ganesh lock coming out of Cyberpunk Otters.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd like to see something a little bit more standard from support, but instead we're going to see Maui. So, again, another character with large knockups into a team that basically can't get knocked up.
Hmm. That Robin kickflip's gonna keep him out of those knockups, but the war being hovered for Baba's Kitchen, and yeah, okay, that's about what I expected. I was like,
Okay,
we're gonna have a Thor mid. We see the Neath now being
okay,
hovered for Baba's
The
Kitchen,
Neath would
and
be really weird. This Almuzinka would
and
not
now
be really weird. Would actually be really solid here.
and it looks like Baba's Kitchen is just having some indecisiveness. They can't decide what they want to do. So how are we going to talk about it? But how do you like the Cyberpunk team comp, just as a general comp, not looking at the other side?
Okay, if I'm completely like blind and oblivious to the Bubba's Kitchen draft, I really like the Cyberpunk Otters. But I think they have almost put all of their eggs in one basket. I think their comp is just completely reliant on this Awilix to do everything for them. I mean, you have several knockups and stuff to feed into this Awilix while your carries are safe and play from really far range. But once you include the fact that Baba's Kitchen has two cripples, knock-up immunity, like as a passive, basically, and a kickflip from Robin, and Hachi Man's gonna be on a horse, I just I don't see this going well for the Cyberpunk Otters.
Yeah, not really too much looking good for Cyberpunk moving into this draft, but they are undefeated. They haven't dropped. I guess they've dropped 2 games so far. But last time they played Baba's Kitchen, they 2-0'd them, and that was with their starting jungler. So I'm gonna let them cook. We will see moving into this game how they match up. But I'm gonna do it to you. I do it to every single one of my chair twos, putting you on the spot. Who are you taking for this game one?
I mean, I've been going on about it since the like third pick here. I think Baba's Kitchen's draft is just inarguably better.
Yeah, because yeah. You have been kind of droning on about it. Well, I am going to kind of just follow up on that and just say Baba's Kitchen. We're gonna have a caster sweep on the Baba's Kitchen side. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Charybdis pick. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Obviously, you pointed out why Awilix has its flaws, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling the Charybdis that much.
Yeah, I mean, Charybdis with the Kin's oboe build and mannequins. I mean, yellow numbers. She procs oboe. Like it feels like every single auto she throws has oboe attached to it, and you're just racking up just big yellow numbers, and that's why she can feel pretty strong. But I think the big issue with playing Charybdis is that ultimate. I think that ultimate is incredibly worthless. I think that is almost maybe not almost. I think that is the worst ultimate in all of Smite. I think it's actually just poopy.
Well, I'm running through my head to try and think of another ultimate that would be worse. Maybe? No, yeah, you know, you're right. Imma just say that you're right.
Yeah, I think the only thing that could maybe be worse is maybe you can argue that like the stance switch button is worse, but I mean I don't even
Oh,
think
like
those
an
are worse.
Uller?
I think that the passive you get from leveling up those passives are like better than Charybdis ult.
And, I can't even argue with it. As we get into this game, looking at builds, what are you seeing? Anything interesting that you're seeing from either side?
I'm a little bit uh, upset at Maui. His starter's in the wrong slot. We'll just start with that because that is mad annoying. But other than that, I mean, benevolence coming out of the Terra is honestly I really like it. I think that the Cyberpunk Otters has a kind of like they need to really CC is like their only way of killing, and it's mostly single target CC. So heroism late game is going to be incredibly valuable for that Terra. I mean, just all around, I'm seeing relatively just standard and good stuff here.
Yeah, and we do see both ADCs opting for that mannequins build that you were talking about. So, looking into pressure in this lane, you would think I don't even know who would have more pressure. Most likely Hachitera, I would think, and we do see that kind of coming through. The Maui with War Flag is certainly interesting. I don't mind it. I know War Flag is really good, and we see the beads come out off of
Oh,
Poseidon very early just to avoid the Awilix's pressure coming out from Vanilla Bun early, but supposed to come in. PB's looking for a gank into that duo lane. We see the Awilix hanging around. The blink comes in, the stun, and can he pick up Jacob? He cannot. The first gank of the game coming out of PV is not successful, but pulls the beads off of the Charybdis. Blink
I
is
think
down, and that's
honestly
going to
that
help his
that
duo
was
lane.
that was basically successful. I mean, he got the beads. He super poked out Charybdis, forced a lot of like pots to be popped. I mean, Charybdis has 0 pots left in hand, so Hachiman poke incredibly strong, and I think that was just really really successful. Honestly,
Yeah, you do have to remember though, we're walkers. We measure success by kills, as we do see the gank coming in into that mid lane, while the Awilix goes to left. Looks like the junglers are just going to take turns going to each side, as Vanilla Bun is looking for something on this left side. The fight coming down over the shield buff, dash out from Hachiman, manages to get him away, but the Terra takes a little bit of damage. not really anything going to be happening from this side. I did not see. Okay, it was Baba's Kitchen who managed to get that shield buff, and once again the solo laners just beating the heck out of each other. We see Baba and Smallface, arguably the two top solo laners in the division. Definitely a matchup to watch over there, seeing who gets the best of who. Um, into both of these team comps though, where are you kind of looking for if you're PV, if you're vanilla, looking to play through?
I mean, this duo lane is probably the most volatile one. It really could just swing either way based on just jungler's whims. I mean, Hachi incredibly strong, but if you give Charybdis a lead, it can feel rather difficult to do anything into her, as she's just so incredibly safe. So I really would just be kind of almost pitching a tent on this duo side of the map.
Yeah, and I will say that's kind of in averse to what a lot of Walker junglers like to do. They kind of like to sit on that solo lane, and I think both of these teams' mottos has kind of been we just leave our solo laner alone because it is two of the top solo laners in the division. You've got Baba, you've got Smallface who are okay with just being left out on an island and letting their jungler do whatever they want. Both teams coming back for these first camp respawns. And we do see the Robin looking for something over on that solo side. The Willix obviously been on that duo side a little bit more, but this Poseidon pick, what are your thoughts on that? Not something you see very often come out. I know Scooby's super comfortable on the pick, but just not a pick you see that often.
Yeah. I'm kind of expecting to see a boom in Poseidon popularity. They made his whirlpool where it ticks basically instantly, and it feels really, really, really oppressive at times to try and play into it. So it's as we see Hachi ult come out and traded with the
Mounted archery
Charybdis ult.
does come out. Charybdis goes up into the ultimate to try and get out, but we see the beads pulled once again off of this Poseidon. Vanilla Bun just not letting Scooby have a good time, but she is only level 5 as the Robin blinks in, has the ultimate, and down goes Busta Kappa to Scooby Daddy Doo, picking up first blood at 4.5 minutes. Great setup by PV and a great last hit by Scooby.
Yeah, I mean Scooby able to get that whirlpool down, and that just Busta can't move. He can't dash. He's in a whirlpool. It ticked instantly. He doesn't get to dash out of that cripple field, so he's gonna just end up losing his life. No beads available for him to beats the cripple. Nothing really he could do there.
Yeah, and we do see horrific popped off Maui. Both dual lanes are just going to retreat. The Charybdis is super poked out. Jacob kind of been below a quarter health the entire early game up to this point. Lots of pressure coming out from the duo lane of Baba's Kitchen, kind of like we said was going to be the case as the Chiron dashes out. Robin was looking for something, not really too much to be had there, though. Like we were saying, you expect Poseidon to step up as ignore what I was saying. Charybdis is on no health. Jacob Frosthope forced to
Ooh.
retreat. Beads are forced once again, and you got to think if Paradox still had that mounted archery, that's just a kill. Here comes Vanilla Bun looking for a response onto this duo lane, but not much really gonna happen. Just kind of helping them clear wave, maybe relieve a little bit of pressure on their side. This Charybdis is getting pressed out quite a bit by the Hachimentera.
Yeah, I mean, Terra is playing this extremely well. I mean, I've seen multiple two-man stuns. I've seen really, really good pillar placement. So it's really just this Terra is kind of just W king, and it hasn't been met with any sort of an answer. And I'm not so certain what that answer could even really be here.
Yeah, I will say, as someone who is in the Walker division as an ADC, you don't like Terra's been so far out for so long that I don't really even know how to play how to play into a Terra at this point because I just haven't even seen it. Like I played maybe one game against Terra in the last since I started playing 6 months. She's just it's interesting because it's kind of different from other solo lane gods. Almost reminds me a bit of like an Athena taunt, just annoying to play against with all the constant stuns and then the walls pop up and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if the Terra decides to go into one of the newer Bobble builds. I mean,
Oh my
going to
lord.
be extremely annoying to play into, but Wheelix catches a Kraken, but just on the outer cusp of it.
Down at about half health, we do see a fight coming down. Chiron comes over. The ultimate is expended. Ultimate in response from Ravana to get away. Scooby picks up a kill onto Vanilla Bun after eating that Kraken. Just did not have enough health to continue the fight. We saw a couple ultimates expended. Maui going up into the air. Not really much going to happen other than the Awilix falling. And Scooby picking up his second kill of the game. 2 kills in 8 minutes. This is very different for the Walker division. Normally it's about 10 kills by now, but now that the supports have rotated, we get to see these ADCs go head to head. Two of the stronger ADCs in the division. Jacob, arguably the strongest ADC in the division, going up against Paradox. Paradox with a signature pick. We haven't really seen the Charybdis come out of Jacob before, but like you said, Charybdis is pretty good with that mannequins build she's been going. And Rory just doesn't care that that he's
Yeah,
free firing
Rory is
into him.
just he's just standing here because I mean he can. I mean look at how little damage he is taking right now. I mean
Yeah, there is nothing that Busta can do, and that just kind of sucks. I know the feeling, Busta. It's not fun, and you just don't have that build online to do anything to the tank.
yeah, especially I mean Terra kind of came out of that laning phase a little bit huge. I mean a lot of farm under her. And we see Maui actually stacking the prophetic, so he's gonna be a little bit behind as far as because it looks like he's going to go into that Thebes. So his Thebes stacks are going to be a little bit further behind. He's going to be stacking that prophetic for an hour, but he's kind of right behind Paradox here. But Paradox just going to hop on a horse and get right up out of there. And that's
Yeah,
just
and looking over into that solo lane, we do see two different builds coming out. Is that Caduceus? I'm
the
honestly not familiar
Cannoneer's
with that.
Cutlass.
Yeah, that close enough. And then we see the prophetic
Curious.
coming out on the Ardio and into Stone of Binding. And what is that second? Is that going to be?
A Bobble?
I'm not gonna comment. Yeah, I'm not gonna comment on it because I don't know what it's gonna be. But what are you thinking about both of these builds out of the solo lane so far?
I mean, I like prophetic or this early on. I mean, if you're gonna get it, make sure you can stack it, and getting it in this first slot. It's gonna have a relatively easy time stacking it off of the Jingqian. I and almost easier time stacking it onto the physicals come like mid late game. I mean, you've got an Awilix, Chiron, and a Charybdis. So as long as he can get all the stacks up for magical on the Jingqian, he's big chilling. On the other side, the Cannoneers is honestly really good for just like clearing. I mean, you walk up, you auto the wave once, and like the group of minions that are around it just falls over dead. So, really just good for clearing quickly.
We do see the ultimate expended from Maui into the stun. The Kraken comes out and picks up the kill, but Rory also falls to Busta. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade for the supports. But the rotation coming in from Smallface into this mid lane forces Robin to jump away, and PV is on low health, not looking to continue this fight. Both sides are backing off, and we're starting to see a little bit of a gap in that solo lane. Like, the rotation coming in from Smallface definitely put him down a little bit, losing most of his wave to tower, and also a 2-level lead in jungle in PV's favor. Coming out, he's been very active on the map, which is surprising. It just feels like he's made a more impact, and I guess he's farming better than the Awilix is as well.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like PV's just everywhere he's needed to be. He's been good about being on time to his buffs, and that's one of the most important things for junglers, and something that a lot of the Walker level junglers really struggle with is just being on time to as many buffs as possible. And PV is showing that he can do that here.
We did see the rotation come out from Titus on this Maui, and it looks like they're looking for Chef Baba for the kill. Oh, Willix is there as well. He's going to dash, and
Whoa,
he's going to get
whoa.
away. Not even close for a guy like Chef Baba. He just gets out free, and that's crazy that he managed to get
Yeah,
out of that
somebody
as a
take him to
3v1 with
court
people
because
full
that
health.
was criminal. That was
That
just
was a robbery.
yeah, that should be
Everything set
genuinely
right up.
outlawed.
And we do see pressure coming back from not Cyberpunk, Baba's Kitchen, and they don't like Chef Baba getting bullied in the solo lane. That three-man rotation comes out just to say hi and then run back over to the lanes. Um, Good stuff. I mean, that kind of was just Baba being stubborn, standing in the meteor, and Small Face just beating the heck out of him. Which played solo lane for the first time the other night. That is just what they do. They just beat the heck out of each other for the entire game. It's great.
Yeah.
And we see Baba's Kitchen grab that first beacon, the ultimate used off of Titus, trying to just find someone, grab anybody. And so far in this game, Baba's Kitchen, gold lead's still the same, but Baba's has honestly looked better than Cyberpunk have. Both ADCs just kind of doing their thing. We see the rotation coming from Rory over here. Jacob's just going to go into the ground. The stun comes up, forces the ultimate out of the Charybdis to try and get away, but Vanilla Bun is here looking for a response as well as Maui. We've got a 3-on-3 over in the duo lane. I don't know if anybody's actually going to fight, but there are three people from both teams over here.
Yeah. I mean, with the game still being in a relatively even spot, we see Baba pulling ahead by like 300 to 400 gold here. So it's just kind of hesitant to pull the trigger on something when this match is relatively tense. I mean, Baba's playing against the undisputed number 1 seed of Walker's division, so they really are just playing as well as they can here. And I mean, I completely respect it because they look like they have a really solid chance of winning this game.
Yeah, and I just want to bring to attention the ward coverage on the left side of the map for Baba's Kitchen. They have that jungle completely warded of Cyberpunk Otters. There's not anybody who's going to go anywhere without being seen on that left side. And that's not something you see too often in Walkers. A lot of the time, it's just like, oh, I don't need to ward. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Mm.
I'll be good. I hear that a lot out of laners. Like, I don't really need to ward. I'll be fine. And even now, look at those wards on the solo side as well. Baba's Kitchen making sure they know where Vanilla Bun's at all the time. So not really much of a chance for her as we see the stun come out from Terra. Jacob Frost is just going to go into the ground, and
Mm.
once again he's doing no damage to this Terra as the ultimate is popped. And the health bar of Charybdis is down low. Rory manages to pick up the kill on Jacob, and now they're looking towards Titus. Can Paradox put out some damage? And he's just gonna swing right over the wall as the ultimate come out of Chiron gets the kill. Busta Kappa manages to pick it up off of the gank from Vanilla Bun. Manages to also pull the Aegis and beads off of Scooby Daddy Doo and finally shut down that Poseidon.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Cyberpunk needs to do. They need to play around Busta at this point. I mean, he's looking really strong on this Chiron. Ugh. And you
Happened to
also
me
kind
too.
of have to to find a way to do damage to this Terra. I mean, Rory is just not taking any sort of real damage, and it's kind of insane to see.
Yeah, Jacob was free autoing on him for at least 5 or 6 seconds, and he lost maybe like a little over a quarter of his health bar. So I don't know, man. Maybe they should just nerf Terra again. We do see
No.
a Lotus Sickle come out. That's a Lotus Sickle, right? On
Yeah.
the Terra.
Yep.
Yeah, a Lotus Sickle come out second. What are thoughts on that?
I think it's actually really good on Terra. I mean, it procs when you place your pillar down. It procs on your team when you ult, and so it's just a lot of aura. You can consider it an aura, but we see Artio getting ulted by the Oelix, and ooh, gonna get out of there.
Once again, Baba gets out on low health bars. Like we said before, it's not even close. He's out just for free as PV went back in,
Ooh.
knocked up, and just dead to Vanilla Bun. That's certainly a decision that was made by the Raven to just go back in. You got your solo laner out. You can just back off, boss.
Yeah, and that's gonna end up costing him this blue buff and maybe his backs as well. I mean, kind of just the Walker moment of fighting for the sake of, oh, look, a dude, I want to punch him. Kind of just walks up in there and does exactly that, and he loses his life and the blue buff for it.
I will say, so far, both teams are keeping it super even as we see uh, fighting coming out over this meteor in the duo lane, but Jacob is definitely getting the advantage of this, and Hachi ult does come out, mounted archery to get away. In response, Jacob pops his ult. Not really sure exactly why, but popped
I
it
mean,
just to clear the wave, I suppose.
maybe he thought it was better than what it is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You got to know if you're playing Charybdis, you basically don't have an ultimate unless you can hit it. Which
No,
I
that
mean,
ult is
guys,
literally
a
just
guy
for
like
running
me hits
away.
it.
That's it.
Guy like me hits it, but I don't know about you, Nacho. But
I
guy like me
mean,
hits that ult.
a guy like me sits there and lets you hit it, and I just bead so you can't push, and I get 7 autos on you during the animation time. But now we see Gold Fury pulled by the CyberPunk Otters here. A lot of just big booms coming out.
And the Kraken comes a little late, not able to secure, but Cyberpunk manages to get that Gold Fury, and it looks like Rory is the one on Baba's Kitchen calling for more. He wants to push Charybdis down into the ground to avoid the stun, but they're just leaving Busta behind, and he's just going to dash out and be fine. And it was intimidation. Intimidation.
I mean, I feel like he was
Maui
just
pops the
decorating the
ult.
landscape.
Maui pops the ultimate, and that fight taken at the Gold Fury is going to cost Cyberpunk Otters this beacon, and I believe that's the second one of the game going in favor of Baba's Kitchen. Towers are going to start taking some poke, lose the Gold Fury, grab the beacon, and grab a Bastion as well. Pyromancer is going to be up pretty soon, and looking towards that, I think both teams are super even. We see a level lead starting to come out in the reverse way. Vanilla Bun actually picking that up on PV after grabbing that kill onto him. But gold still in favor of Cyberpunk. This game is still rock even at 19 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it really does feel like really even. I mean, Baba's Kitchen just not having as much, essentially warding money. I mean, when you're talking 2,500, that's 500 per person at 19 minutes. I mean, that's basically just your wards at this stage of the game. So really, just uh, super even game, and I'm just excited to see when these objective fights start popping off. As we see Kraken pulls the Chiron's Aegis. Not much
Yeah,
more
the
gonna come of it.
Kraken just coming out just to make a statement, Kraken, and then go right back to lane and farm, pulls the Aegis off of the Chiron, which is pretty big. We do see level leads kind of coming out across the board for Cyberpunk. Other than the support, Rory piloting that Terra pretty well, doing God's work. I know the shell is certainly something we see on both supports, and certainly an interesting thing that I feel like a lot of supports have gone away from using the shell second relic.
Yeah, I mean, the shell's second relic kind of comes out when you need to get through walls, or and that's pretty much the only real use of it at this point. I mean, the shield that it gives is relatively small, and sometimes it can feel like it's not doing anything. A little bit of a squabble coming out in mid, Robin on the flank.
Ultimate popped by the Terra and both of his teammates. Rory just seems like he wants to go in all the time, and it looks like the teammates weren't feeling it this time. It was a nice little flank around by PV to look for something, but just decides, we're just gonna scare him a little bit, grab a stun, and then walk away. Busta playing super aggressive on this Chiron, playing up in the lane, not really too worried. As we see a rotation coming onto the right side from Vanilla Bun, maybe looking for something over here in this solo lane, as we do see the Jing Tian rotating in for that Pyromancer. It looks like he's just going to leave Vanilla over there too, 1v1 with Baba. And looks like she's winning as the Pyromancer is getting pulled by Cyberpunk Otters. Charybdis is here, so is Hachiman. And Cyberpunk are going to grab the first Pyromancer of the game, and their gold leads up to 4K. It's slowly growing, and Cyberpunk's, it looks a little bit rough early on, but it's there's looks like they're slowly growing into this game one, and kind of remembering that they're the number one seed. They're here to do work, as we see Rory just stare at Titus right in the face after he pulled him. What are your thoughts at this point, the game state?
I mean, Cyberpunk is just looking better around objectives. I mean, they're on time to it. They're pulling it as a team. They've got good zone coverage. I mean, they're really just better around the
Sorry to cut you
objectives
off.
right now.
Speaking
But
of
oh
pulling it
my,
as a team, we see them on the Fire Giant with 5 men up. Hachiman's in the left. Terran Poseidon just came out of base. It looks like this is just going to be a free fire giant for Cyberpunk Otters. At 21 minutes, they managed to bamboozle Baba's Kitchen and pick that up, but Maui is low. Maui's poked out the ultimate expended from the Chiron, and it looks like Cyberpunk wants to take a fight here. Artio low. Chef Baba looks
Scooby.
like he's going to die. Scooby picks up Vanilla Bun on the side, and Artio makes it out again. There is no way. This is absolutely criminal. Smallface in there on about half health gets stunned by the Terra, the ultimate used by the Maui to try and peel out, and Terra's just going to fall to the Jing Tian, but in response, Scooby picks up Busta Kappa, and it looks like Baba's Kitchen are starting to win this fight, and they are just running Cyberpunk Otters down. Charybdis forced into the ground. Artio picks up the kill onto Titus, ultimate up in for Charybdis, still going to fall to PV, and Fire Giant, but for what? Just to get it on the Jing Tian?
I mean, that was just insane. That entire fight was just, it could be labeled as insane. Chef Baba getting out of there again. He can't keep getting away with this. I don't know how he keeps doing this. I mean, that was already wild. But then, I mean, you find Scooby getting a pick onto Vanilla just somehow in the back. I didn't even see how it happened. Then Cyberpunk kind of follows into a single corridor. They get a whirlpool underneath them, and then a Raven ult on top of them. And at that point, the fight's just over. I mean, both your carries got hit by everything, and just really, really, really good team fight from Babas. I mean, they may be a little bit slower around the objectives, but they are significantly faster in these team fights.
Yeah, we're seeing big damage being put out from Scooby Daddy Doo, almost 3K damage up on his closest teammate, but great work so far. He's looked great on this Poseidon, and if you're Cyberpunk, you do have to question, they got the Fire Giant. Baba's Kitchen wasn't really contesting, but then to go back in after you get the Fire Giant and try and fight just, I guess, for the sake of fighting to win, maybe take a 2T1 towers or something. I'm just questioning the call just a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was honestly just the Chef Baba with the absolutely master class at how to bait your opponent by being 1 HP, and honestly just he should have died but somehow gets out. I mean, this is just is this just regular Chef Baba gameplay?
I suppose so. I mean, whenever we played against him, he doesn't really die that much. He does get out a lot on no health. I guess that's just, credit to his team. Kudos to Rory keeping him back, and then, kudos to the rest of them for doing the damage to get him out. But Baba's just living on a prayer, man. He's just having a good time. And we do
Yeah.
see both ADCs boxing in this duo lane once again. Just, clearing the wave and going. Typical ADC things, not really too much to do. We see Maui looking for something, drops down from the ceiling, does not get anyone, but Ardio's here. Ardio's on the rotation, looking for the stun onto Busta Kappa, grabs it, but health bars are not going down fast from anybody. Awilix with the jump out. Kraken expended. Terra also, that was a Terra ultimate, yes?
Yes.
Terra uses the ultimate as well. I guess it's a spec. Oh no, there it goes. I was like, I guess it's a spec glitch because I didn't. It still says that she has it, but I thought it was a Terra ultimate. Expended, and it's all going back towards this Pyromancer, Baba's Kitchen. Kind of just dancing, looking for it. Cyberpunk is here to contest. Jacob putting out a lot of damage onto Chef Baba. Will he fall this time, or is he gonna somehow manage to survive as the shell comes out off of Terra, managing to keep Rory alive, and Chef Baba is low again. PV picks up the kill onto Vanilla Bun, but Cyberpunk get the Pyromancer. Low health bars on the side of Baba's Kitchen as Smallface is by himself, looking for something, and PV just gets deleted. Jacob Frost picks up the kill, and it looks like Cyberpunk Otters won middle T1, and then as soon as I say that, they back off. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
It's
I
just
didn't want them to take it anyway.
I mean, a little bit tough to push when you have this full HP Artio and Poseidon here, but Smallface does not care. He grabs two, throws two in. I mean, Baba is going
Baba's
to
just gonna
somehow
get
just run away
away.
anyway, and Rory ends
Jacob,
up dying for it.
man, I can't believe it. Baba is just getting away over and over and over again. Like you said, You can't
This
keep
time
getting
Rory
away with
does
it.
pay for his sins. I mean, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
Rory throws himself. Rory
Uh,
throws himself as the sacrificial lamb to get Baba out once again, and the double grab under the tower was great from Smallface. Just I don't even want to say not enough damage. RDO just gets away. Like he's getting shredded. There's just, like he's just getting away every single time.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it at this stage of the game comes down to that starter upgrade giving that bonus movement speed based on how many abilities you're pumping out. I mean, RDO pressing abilities all the time, gonna be moving along quite quickly. But this fire giant falling down to half HP here, and the Baba's Kitchen a little slow to get here, but they are here. I mean, oh,
And they
why?
steal it! They
What?
stole it away! They stole it away! Ravana ult comes in and takes the fire giant away from CyberPunk Otters, and it looks like, oh yeah, look, yeah, yep, BB, we saw the steal come out of the Ravana, jumping around all happy, and that's huge once again. Baba's Kitchen saying, listen, you've pulled the last 3 or 4 objectives right in front of us. We're not just gonna let you keep on doing it, and we do see that gold lead for Cyberpunk is gone practically. It's about 400 gold at this point. Baba's Kitchen has evened it up. Builds are starting to be finished, and
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
just it's
this is
looking like it's
crazy.
getting close. Cyberpunk starting to lose that lead just a little bit. Objectives being grabbed for Baba's Kitchen, and once again, speaking of objectives, we see this Primal Fury go down in favor of Baba's Kitchen, and that gold lead is now 1,000 in their favor. Pretty big plays coming out of Baba's Kitchen. Where was the turning point in your opinion?
I mean, that fire giant steal was absolutely massive. If Baba's Kitchen doesn't secure that fire giant, I imagine Cyberpunk feels a lot more confident in just surging forward again. But instead, they just sat there and they had to witness a Robin come in, take their fire giant, and leave. And I just watched 4 members stand in the fire pit and just kind of look at it in shock. And at that point, it's kind of just Baba's Kitchen now have a fire giant around their waist. I mean, T1 in right side going to be falling to this Poseidon here. Uh, both tier 2 in middle and left lane, incredibly low HP at this stage of the game. So, I mean, there's a lot of gold on the map for Baba's Kitchen to clean up here.
Yeah, and it looks like they're not really grouping up too much. I think Cyberpunk kind of grouped up on this right side, I guess, assuming that that's the tower they'd go for. But it looks like Baba's Kitchen is kind of just looking, waiting for this Pyromancer to respawn, looking for that, grab themselves another bomb. Don't have any on them right now. So, kind of a good decision. I do have one question, and I
Yeah.
know it's not bad, but I see dominance coming out from both of these ADCs on this
I
mannequin's
hate
yellow
it.
Numby build.
I hate it. I've been so vocal about this every time I've seen it, and I didn't want to talk about it because I get heated over it, but I hate it. The dominance passive, okay, does not apply to yellow numbers at all. So your kin's damage, your oboe damage, your mannequin damage, you get no pen value from dominance on it. Whereas if you just go Titan's Maid, all your yellow numbies get 20% pen in addition to the normal damage, and it's so much damage. Oh my god! But oh,
We do
great!
see
A
the
Wheelix
Awilix
ult
grab
pulling in
onto
the
the
Poseidon here.
Poseidon. And he's just going to fall. Busted Kappa picks up Scooby off of Vanilla Bun's great pull. The Charybdis ult comes out, stuns both the tanks, and Robin is fast on the way out. Terra forced to ult in response, and PV is on the run while there's still a fight going on in jungle. Looks like Rory will finally get poked out enough to die, and he's still alive. Paradox falls to Vanilla Bun. The Terra is on the run looking to get away. And they hit enough autos. Busta Kappa does, and PV's there right in response, picking up Busta, and that is going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Cyberpunk after picking up the Pyromancer. Criminal. Baba's Kitchen keeps getting out these low HP bars. PV once again there, super low at the beginning of the fight, manages to come back at the end at about half health and grab himself another kill, and that's huge. Cyberpunk managing to pick up Scooby. He was 5-1, 5-2 now, but pretty big from the Awilix managing to grab a nice ult and pull when knowing that he doesn't have those relics down or relics up, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, just a really, really, really good team fight from the Otters, and I feel like a lot of that comes off of Baba's Kitchen kind of being, again, it almost feels like they're hesitant just because it's Cyberpunk that they're playing against, and it's really costing them. I feel like if they just step on the gas just a little bit more, I mean, this game just gets blown wide open. I mean, with that Fire Giant not being able to get either of the tier 2s from mid or left side is kind of just unlucky. I mean, you really want to see something happen there. It's a lot of gold on the map for your team, and it's just unfortunate to not see them press that gas pedal and go for it.
Yeah, and I will say, just based on numbers that I've seen, looked at, and done, Bob's Kitchen normally is the highest kills team in Walker division. Like they normally put up, 25 for your team that'll go out and get 30, 35 kills regularly in a game. They just play that aggressive style. And like you said, it does seem like they're more responsive as they go for the Oni Fury. Cyberpunk's like, okay, we'll just take the Fire Giant once again, but Baba is here. Chef Baba, the captain of Baba's Kitchen, is here. The audio looking for the steal. Cyberpunk managed to secure. That's going to be enhanced Fire Giant at 33 minutes into this game. The Maui ult comes up, pulls the audio back in. Multiple ultimates exchanged, and Chef Baba is still just running out on no health as Smallface is chasing the Hachiman. Manages to get out using that mounted archery, but Chef Baba with a narrow escape once again, still 1-0, surprisingly.
Yeah, what is the over under on Chef Baba dying this game? I mean, it just insane how he just keeps getting away with it. Terra ult gets popped just in preparation, not letting the Cyberpunk others really have a way to press forward into that middle Phoenix, and instead they're opting to go for this right side tier 2.
Yeah, it's better to just get a tower sweep, kind of build that gold up a little bit more. I mean, builds are pretty much done. We do see that's not prophetic last time. What is that? That's gonna be a Magi's coming out of the Maui last item. Well, it looks like Terra's kind of opting more towards that. It could be mystical, it could be Midgard, double ADC. But is there anything in these builds that you've seen so far that's kind of stood out to you, other than the dominance on both ADCs?
Not really. I'm surprised to see the Chiron not go for the Bobble build that I've kind of been seeing for the Chiron. I think the Bobble build on him is absolutely insane. I mean, mass cleanses every what feels like 4 seconds. So, little bit surprising. I don't hate the build by any means. It's really, really good damage going to be coming out from him. Uh, Other than that, I mean, Maui needs to stack his prophetic. Same with Chef Baba, but Chef Baba can't stack it because Chef Baba spent the entire game running away on 1 HP. So just uh, just a little unfortunate there for him, but everything as far as builds goes, other than the dominances, looks relatively normal and fine to me.
Yeah, we do see Cyberpunk Otters grouping up, looking for this left
Oh,
tower.
that's
Once again,
so
Malio
unlucky.
used for that's dominance assertion, I suppose. And we do see this T2 tower just fall super fast. Charybdis at this point putting out a lot of damage. The dominance is good for shredding towers. Rock forced into the ultimate to try and get away from the onslaught coming out of Vanilla Bun and Busta Kappa. And it looks like Cyberpunk are looking for this left tower. The stun ult comes out, Kraken used, and Titus is just dead to Rory Mercury. And it looks like the RDO pushed back, but gonna fall. Smallface Paradox picks him up, and they're chasing. Charybdis is on low health. Scooby manages to pick him up, and this could be just a rundown and end call. I mean, they're down for 55 seconds, 50 seconds, and there's five strong on the side of Baba's Kitchen looking for Busta Kappa. Scooby
Oh,
misses everything. Oh no! I thought he had it. The cleanse on himself does come out from Busta, and he's just trying to get away as this Poseidon once again is just so fast and chasing him down. So we've got Busta Kappa and Vanilla Bun back here looking to defend. Busta Kappa forced up into the ultimate. He finally got caught, falls to PV, and it's going to be Vanilla Bun versus the world. 15 seconds until Titus the Reaper comes up. This right Phoenix or left Phoenix is just going to fall for Cyberpunk.
are
Are
they
they
gonna
going to
go
look
for
for
it?
the end? They are going to look for the end. There is only the Willicks up.
Oh, you
Maui
gotta
is
commit to
looking
it.
as well.
Oh,
Oh, they're
okay.
backing
They're
up. You got
leaving.
to commit.
They're leaving.
Oh, no. They definitely
Oh,
end the game there if
they
they just go
definitely
in
have
for
the
it.
damage, but I understand. I mean, the nerves. You're about to take
This
a game off the undefeated number one seed, so rather play it safe, fall back, you get this Gold Fury, set up for fire. You've got the best bird to get down on this Gold Fury side, and it all but secures the Fire Giant for your team here. So, I mean, this is the safe ish call. I think it was relatively safe to go in and end there. You have so much damage coming out from this Hachiman, from this Poseidon, from this Raven. I mean, even Artio doing decent enough damage. So a little bit. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't
let's
know.
just
I'm
say
not no dictionary.
not what you would have done. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
Not what I would have
honestly,
done either, but hey,
just
that's okay.
yeah, it's completely fine. I understand the thought process behind it. It's just sometimes you have to make those calls where you have to recognize that you have the damage you can in the game, because otherwise all of your games are going to be drawn out to 40 minutes. And I don't know about you, Pity, but I don't like sitting in 40-minute Smite games.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I played a set for MSS the other day, and it went about 53 minutes
Mm,
in the game one. So that was not fun at that point. But we do see both teams circling around this fire giant. Baba's Kitchen having won that last fight, managed to take that left Phoenix, and they've got the fire minions pushing in, and Cyberpunk's going to have to send somebody to respond to that. This is like two waves pushing in. We see Maui getting poked out. Titus taking a lot of damage, about half his health bar already, and the fight hasn't even started yet. Well done catching him out by Baba's Kitchen, and looks like they're gonna
yeah.
send
As
Jacob
long as they
back
just
to.
play patient here, I mean, two people backed, and they're going to be spotted on this wave. This is Baba's Kitchen's moment, and we see them go up to take it. I mean, immediately as soon as they spot two on that Titan defense, they immediately surge forward and start burning this fire giant. Burning a little bit slow, but they should have the secure, and they do have the secure. Small face decent ultimate comes out, but now a Wheelix caught out in a little bit of a rough position. There's a lot of
The
cripples around that area.
four-man knockup. The four-man knockup from a Willick is not going to keep Vanilla Bun alive, and we see Rory dashing and wanting more. Paradox manages to pick up Smallface in the backline, and now Titus is just by himself going to swing over the wall to get away, but that Pyromancer and that Fire Giant are going to go in favor of Baba's Kitchen. CPO have two members down for over 45
Sure did.
seconds, and
It's
looks like
over.
there's going to be three. Titus the Reaper falls to Paradox once again, picking up his fourth. And there are just two members back to defend the two damage dealers, Busta Kappa and Jacob Frost, versus the entire team of Baba's Kitchen with
Really good
EFG.
damage on to TV.
Yeah, PV almost falls, and it looks like Baba's Kitchen is just going to keep pushing in. It's 4 versus 2 on this Titan. They've got a fire wave, and that Titan is starting to go down. Kraken, two-man Kraken, comes up off of the Artio stun. Ultimate from Charybdis. He's going to fall to Scooby, and that is going to be the end of our game one. PV once again went back in, and Baba leaves the game just how he's been the entire time on no health. And
Yeah.
Baba's Kitchen take down the number one seed, being the second team to do so, other than Ice Age, take a game off of the number one seed. Great stuff coming out of Baba's Kitchen.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Rory put on a clinic with this Terra pick. I mean, he looked absolutely insane on it. Chef Baba somehow making it out of every single engagement on like 1 HP. I don't know how he kept doing it. It really shouldn't have gotten away with it, but does. And Scooby, I mean, the Krakens were absolutely on point just about every single time. Multi-man Krakens. I mean, you dream for Krakens like that. So, I mean, just really, really good play from everybody on Baba's Kitchen there.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, look at the wards. Look at the ward difference. They're
Oh my.
I'm gonna do math. I'm gonna do math. 51, 61,
That's
73 wards over that game for Baba's Kitchen. Wow. Give me a minute. 48 wards for Cyberpunk Otters. So a 25 ward difference, and like people say, wards win games. I think the vision was huge. It didn't really let Vanilla get into the game at all, and just great play overall from Baba's Kitchen, managing to take a game off of the number one seed once again. And as we move into game two, we will see what the adaptations are from both teams, and we will see you then. All right, everybody, welcome back for this game two of Baba's Kitchen versus Cyberpunk Otters. We have the one seed Cyberpunk Otters facing off against the two seed Baba's Kitchen, who just took their first game off of Cyberpunk this season and only the second team to take a game off of Cyberpunk this season so far. What were your thoughts on that game one, Mr. Nacho?
I mean, Rory, the Terra, just if it's open, first pick it. Honestly, it looked that strong. Exaggerating a little bit, you don't want to top pick Terra. Cripples make her life miserable, but I mean, he did look that good on it, and so I'm really just trying to see what Cyberpunk does to uh, get away from their strategy there. I mean, it's clear they had a game plan with this Awilix pick, and it didn't work out. So I'm really interested to see how they adapt to that.
Yeah, and coming into these first couple bands, we see the Kukulkan and the Cthulhu coming out from Baba's Kitchen, while Cyberpunk going for the Sobek Thanatos once again. And they did change the order. Thanatos was the third band last time, so I'm guessing that they might be looking to switch it up. Like you said, maybe go for a Terra, maybe ban the Poseidon, try and get
It's,
Scooby off of that comfort pick, and they banned Hachiman.
yep,
And
and
Baba's Kitchen,
Odin. Odin, there it is.
Baba's
Oh
Kitchen
no.
Bandaji, and Odin is an insta lock at the top for Baba's Kitchen. One of the better solo laners in the game, if not the best solo laner in the game at this current moment. What are your thoughts on that Odin top pick? And
I mean,
I
I
guess
think
finishing out the
Odin
bands.
I think Odin is the strongest god in the game right now. I mean, that character can support, he can solo, he can jungle, and he does all three of them at the top of like the list. And this Charybdis pick, I don't like it. I really I don't see the value in it. I think Jacob should be on something a little bit more aggressive instead of something that just excels at running away. I do like the Ganesh pick here. It does well enough into Odin. uh, just surprised to see Otters kind of going back to what went wrong in that first game.
Yeah, I would tend to agree about this Charybdis pick. I said I didn't really like it in game one. We get to game two. Jacob, listen, I know you don't want to be known as a Donza one trick,
Mm,
but make team ban make teams ban it, so you'll play it if they don't ban it because you're damn good on that Donza Burrow and the Charybdis just I don't know, not going my way, not what I like, but that's okay. Baba's Kitchen in response lock in Jing Tian and X Ball. So Jing Tian and Odin, which one do you think is going to go into that support role
Um, neither.
if Odin doesn't go into the jungle?
That's my guess. Neither. I think Odin Jungle is likely to come out here as we see back to the Awilix, and I'm a little flabbergasted. I mean, just I would be trying to change things up after the way that game went. I mean, instead opting to pick the Awilix and ban the Poseidon, which I think if you're going to be picking this Awilix here, opting to ban the Poseidon is good. I would also like to see an Ardio ban, because the Ardio can still get picked up. This Odin can still go jungle, and instead we'll see this Marty Chorus ban. Just
Yeah, we see the Poseidon Marticurus ban, and on the other side the Vamana and the Thoth banned away. Smallface is a demon on the Vamana. I get that ban. Scooby demon on both Poseidon and on Marticarus. I get those bans. It just like you said, it just feels like they're trying to run back game one where it was going well for them for the most part. But I think in this duo lane, 100% you want to pick more of a bully lane. Try and pressure Paradox out. Don't let him just farm up to level 20. Maybe go for like an on her, something more aggressive. Try to take advantage of that lane. And the Willix pick, we just she didn't look bad on it. Vanilla didn't, but at the same time, it she wasn't able to make much of an impact. One because of vision, two because of just the gods that Baba's Kitchen chose in response, and just running that back and going along with this Scylla is certainly an interesting choice.
yeah, I mean the only real this ESET pick would be I'm hoping for it. I'm I had the shit up because I saw it. And I'm such an ESET enjoyer, and I think ESET is actually such a sleeper pick, and we will actually get to see it come out paired up with this Ratatasker. So likely you end up being an Odin solo. I don't see the Jing Chen going solo over the Odin. I think Odin from solo is just a little bit stronger than his support, and he'll have to play into Odin or into Bologna here. So maybe actually, after seeing the Bologna pick, maybe you do send Jing Qian there. I mean, being able to
Yeah.
reduce
Hey,
Bologna's basic attack damage is kind of good.
let's not rush to assumptions. It could be Ganesh solo. You never know. Could be. I've seen somebody do it. It was
I,
Krusty's nuts, and he's kind of a psycho, but still.
I, I hmm, um,
You're
if
not even gonna
this
comment on that.
if this Ganesh ends up in the solo lane, you will be solo casting the rest of this game.
You're just done. I mean, I get it. I like the way that Baba's Kitchen team comp has turned out, and I will say every person that I've ever talked to loves ESET. I've never met somebody who's like, man, I hate playing ESET. She sucks. Blah 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 blah. Every person that I know is an ESET enjoyer, and she did get a buff. Yes,
To be honest with you, I have no clue. If she
I'm
did, it
I'm
went
pretty
under
sure
my
she got a
radar.
buff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she got a buff, and now we're seeing a little bit more play. So far, the only person I've really seen play ESET in this league is Deacon, and he certainly has had a time on her. Um, but I like the way that Baba's Kitchen team comp has turned out with the X Ball ultimate, the rat going up into the air, going to be able to just jump down in the darkness. Well, for the Otters team, like you said, Charybdis and Willix, we rambled on about those. I don't hate the Scylla. Um, I kind of want to talk more about the Bologna into Odin matchup because I think that's going to be interesting if it is Odin in that solo lane, which
Oh,
it looks like it is. So, how do you feel about the Bologna into the Odin?
I mean, I think that Bologna should just focus on clearing because I mean, Odin is going to struggle to clear waves a little bit. Not so much after the buff to his 3. It's a little bit, or well, a lot of bit easier to clear now. He does so much damage with that ability and so quickly as well. So, I mean, Bologna should just still outclear though and focus on maintaining the fact that you have clear advantage and just use that to try and outfarm because I don't think you really want to be fighting an Odin too much.
Yeah, and looking at those starters, we see the Bluestone, and that looks like it probably going to be into a breastplate, maybe a contagion coming out of the Odin. While on the other side, Jacob Smallface opts for the Death's Toll into. Is that going to be Berserkers or Phalanx or
Probably fail.
his first item? Phalanx. What in comparison to these two builds, is Bluestone on Odin a thing? I may not know as well. Pause that thought. We see a first blood come out in 50 seconds. Scooby Daddy Doo picking up the first kill on this E-set off of a great gank coming out of PV. And looks like once again, Rory is being a menace on the Jing Tian, just like he was on the Terra in game one. And it looks like it's just like you said, you wanted to see a lot of aggression coming early from Baba's Kitchen, managing to pick up the kill onto Busta Kappa early, 50 seconds in. But back to what we were saying. What are your thoughts on these solo lane builds?
I mean, the Bluestone can be a little bit weird. I think Axe is generally a little bit better unless you want to go for the mitigation build. But I mean, Bluestone is still completely fine. It's a lot of additional damage. You see Silly getting aggressed on again in mid. This is so much aggression coming out from this rat set. I mean, this is what you want to see. You got such a balanced team comp. I mean, the early aggression coming from your mid jungle, followed by like the mid game Odin, and then late game X Ball. It's just near perfection from the draft.
Yeah, and certainly certainly something that we were asking for in that game one for Baba's Kitchen to come out and be more aggressive. They've grabbed the first blood um, in this game two, starting off on the right note. Once again, just PV making a big impact early. Kind of exactly what we were seeing. Scooby continuing the dominance that he was asserting in game one, keeping up this pressure on Busta, making sure Busta isn't having a fun time. And looking at the builds, we see Scooby going for that Conduit Gem start while Busta's going for the Sands of Time into the Book of Thoth. What are your thoughts on those two mid builds?
I think Conduit is so strong right now. I mean, they buffed it, and then people were still people started buying it, but I guess not enough for Hi-Rez's liking, so they said screw it, and they giga buffed it. I mean, that starter does so much damage so early and so frequently that it's just to me it screams if you want any sort of early aggression, you have to go this starter item. And that's exactly what we see Scooby decide to go for, whereas Busta wants to scale into late game. And I think the Sands of Time does better at scaling into late.
Yeah, and with the two gods that they're playing, Scylla scales very, very well. As we see not Busta, Scooby underneath the T1 tower already. 3 minutes in, you might be a little bit too squishy for that one. See Vanilla Bun looking for something, but then deciding to go back towards the left mids where she will find Peavy and Rat going up into the air, looking for this Scylla once again. Grabs the knockdown, grabs the stun. Scylla forced up into the I Am a Monster, and Peavy going to back off after grabbing that ultimate. Was looking for the second kill of the game onto Busta Kappa, looking to make these Scyllas suffer in this early game. Like everybody says, the Scylla's worst time is going to be her first, however many levels, for six,
Eight.
seven, 8 levels, she's going to be struggling. Eight, there you go, 8 levels. And we do see Willix looking for something over here. Rory might have been caught out, goes up into the ultimate, throws two into the tower, manages to get out of the Dharmic pillars. And Rory, like you said, has just been a menace so far in this set for Baba's Kitchen.
Yeah. Too bad Jacob doesn't have an ultimate that actually means anything. Even I think even if he does land it, I don't think it matters. I mean, it's it's so sad. But now, Charybdis, this is what Charybdis is good at. It's just this running away game. I mean, you'll see he'll be completely fine here. As still, just kind of back and forth aggression in this duo side. It really does feel like they're playing this tug of war, but they I don't know, they just keep passing out one side at a time. And so it really is just the back and forth, and I think it's just really entertaining to watch.
Man, Nacho, you just have a way with words. You just have a way with words, don't you? That you just keep passing out back and forth. We do see the mannequin starter coming out on X-Ball. Personally, not a fan. Oh,
Yep,
we are
as we
paused.
will take it to a quick little pause break real quick. We will be right back with the action.
All right. We are back from the little break, and I wanted to talk to you about the X-Ball going mannequins. What are your thoughts on that? I've heard from a couple, and we're repaused, and we're going to send it right back to break.
It just
All right, we are back once again from the break. T Pity on your chair one, Nacho on chair two, and I want to talk to you about this X Balls mannequin starter. What are your thoughts on that? I've heard a bunch of people say that X Ball is not a man that you shouldn't go it on. And what is Mr. Nacho's thoughts on that?
Uh, I believe that mannequins is OP. Honestly, I think that item is so incredibly strong. I mean, it scales well into late game. It does a lot of damage to the objectives. It makes clearing camps really easy. Um, but I don't know about on X-Ball. I think the lack of sustain for mana is kind of rough. I mean, your one drains mana. I mean, playing X-Ball can feel really rough, especially if your solo laner is not a totem gamer. And it's gonna be tough for Odin to be a totem gamer this game, as we see a lot of aggression here onto this Awilix in mid. Maybe gonna find, he does indeed find it. Scooby gonna be able to pick that one up as, oh my, PV finds Busta Kappa as well. A really strong engagement for Baba's Kitchen in this mid lane.
That's gonna be a double kill for Baba's Kitchen, and yeah, like you said, the mana sustain, especially if you're leveling the one, which I don't know who does, but I've certainly seen some people do it. And looking for that blue buff is
Ooh.
going to be Chef Baba manages to steal it away through the Bologna ultimate, and looks like
And
Smallface is
Small
not
Face is
very
mad
happy
about
with
it.
that. He is
But
chasing him down, looking for something, but just not enough damage to get that kill on the Odin to punish him for taking that blue buff. Gonna get the totem though. Once again, proving Chef Baba is not a totem gamer because guy like me dies for that totem. But we see both ADCs fighting over this shield buff goes in favor of Paradox, who just reset, get yourself some mana regen, some MP5. But once again, these duo lane, the ADCs look super even in this duo lane. The only difference really coming out in jungle, PV's got that 2 level lead. I'm not gonna pay attention to the supports because supports do support things. But we see a 2 level lead coming out from the jungle and the mid of Cyberpunk, or no, of Baba's Kitchen, and we saw the gank come out from PV looking for Jacob, but like you said, Charybdis just kind of survives. She always gets out. Scooby's looked really comfortable so far on this ESET pick into the Scylla matchup, forces Scylla up into I Am a Monster from Rory, manages to still hit the ultimate, and Rory will fall to Vanilla Bun. Baba's Kitchen, Cyberpunk Otters picking up their first kill of this game too.
yeah, I mean, really good clapback for them. Really just getting that get back, but I mean, it is only on to Rory. I mean, Scooby still a threat on the map. PV still as well a threat on the map. So, I mean, if you are the Bob's Kitchen, you're happy that it just is your support falling over. Nobody else here. I mean, just again, I think it really is. Rory's just a menace, and that time he does get punished for it, and that's something I want to see more of from the Cyberpunk Otters. We see these solo laners, they kind of just,
Just beating the hell
oh
out of
no,
each
he
other. He
jumped!
jumps. He jumps and
Oh my,
loses the loses the scepter. But once again, on the dual lane side, we saw Jacob going for another invade, grabbing it off on Paradox's purple buff, who he has not managed to get his last two, maybe even three purple buffs. Rough from the ADC. We do see the rotation coming in from Titus looking for the X ball, who's just going to dash out, but come on, Baba, you should know better than jumping up. Makes you lose the scepter.
yeah, that's just unlucky for us. I was really hoping to see that last until one of them fell over dead, but it does not happen this time. Maybe we catch it next time. But back onto the purple buffs. I mean, Paradox has that timer, and so it really is on him. As we see blue buff actually getting looked at, and now just a little bit of a scrap, and Dharmic Pillars comes out. Odin stuck inside, gonna get wailed on a little bit, but able to jump away. Likely to be able to get out, and it is Chef Baba after all. That man just never dies.
He never dies. He never dies. Baba never dies. And we saw the ultimate come out from Smallface to secure the blue buff, but Scooby is on Baba's Kitchen's blue buff, just making sure his solo laner doesn't lose it. Does lose a mini creep, but the cage comes out from Chef Baba on this Ganesh, looking to pick up Titus the
Scooby's
Reaper,
no
but not
mana.
enough damage coming out. Not enough damage, not enough mana for Scooby Daddy Do. And Titus looking to get away, but Rat is here, PV is here. Rory steals away the kill on the Ganesh, looking to hit his betting line, is what it looks like. Rory manages to pick up that kill onto Titus the Reaper. A little support on support violence coming out, and a big rotation from Baba's Kitchen over to that blue buff, making sure that their solo laner does not lose it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a little bit of a miscommunication between Scooby and Chef Baba there. As we see Scooby place down that Iset ultimate and then kind of pop it early before getting any of that damage stacked up on it. I mean, maybe Chef Baba doesn't communicate that that cage was coming down to keep Titus in, but instead just falls over to Rory here. Again, Rory being the menace he is, making sure that he goes over for his betting lines.
I know it matters so much to the players looking at those betting lines and making sure they can try and go over. We do see the beacon go in favor of Baba's Kitchen. Cyberpunk not even really going to contest. And only objective up, I mean, there's the Fire Giant, but you're not really looking at the Fire Giant 12 minutes in. So probably going to see both teams start looking over towards that Gold Fury. Once again, we do see a lot of ward coverage coming out from Cyberpunk on that left side, but just as many wards from Baba's Kitchen coming out as well. Just sentries for Cyberpunk, regulars for Baba's Kitchen, so not going to really see those staying on the map too long. Duo lane's still even. We have seen the 2 level lead in mid and jungle go down to a 1 level lead as we see both solo laners beating the hell out of each other once again, looking for this totem. This is why the people love solo lane. And who got that totem?
Mm, I think small face got it. I'm looking at like the tower line and I see that little bit of a ring, kind of a little bit,
And we
but
are going to see a fight once again over the meteor. Both solo laners beating the hell out of each other. Odin does have that shield. But Lona looks like she's losing this fight. Looks like it's going to Chef Baba. Is he going to jump? They both jump. They
oh, come
both jump again.
on!
And the scepter goes over the small face. X-Ball. Or that's not X-Ball. That's Rat. PV pushing Jacob back. Jacob's going to go into the ground and just get away for free once again. But Abba once again using that
Oh
jump.
my god!
Let Smallface have the scepter as the Scylla Busta Kappa almost falls. There's a lot of aggression. Looks like Baba's Kitchen heard you after that game one that they want you to fight. Ganesh gets stunned and Rory is on the tower dive looking for something. Scooby looking for some backup damage, but not really too much going to be happening to that Ganesh just yet. Good damage coming out from Baba's Kitchen, and like you said, they're playing aggressive. They're not playing scared like they were in that game one early on.
Yeah, no, they realized, oh wait, we actually like can just win these, and now they're really showing that yeah, they can just win these. As Scylla gets hit with yet another one of those big balls, just what?
Yeah,
Just
yes, yes. Scooby keeps hitting hitting Busta with the stun that Eset has.
oh no, he's hitting.
Not with the big balls.
Scooby's hitting Busto with the big
Don't
ball.
do it. Don't do it, man. Come on.
Okay,
Well,
okay,
yep. So we officially decided this will be Nacho's last cast for Frank's retirement home.
fair.
Um, Rory picks up the bomb. Baba's Kitchen managed to secure, and fighting over this meteor is gonna be the X-Ball and the Charybdis. The ultimate comes out of both of them. It looks like Jacob is winning this exchange, but
No,
Paradox turns it, and maybe, just maybe, if you had an ultimate that was worth anything, you pick up
there
that
it
kill.
is. He's
in,
learning. I
in
mean,
Nacho's word.
what did Charybdis ult do there except for like burn the beads? That's all I'm saying.
The
Uh,
kill comes out, the solo kill for Paradox. Gonna be our first one I think we've seen out of the ADCs so far of this set. Both of them just kind of doing their own thing, farming up. But Gold Fury being hovered Baba's Kitchen and Cyberpunk Otters monitoring the situation. Both teams are going to opt just to back, reset, get some items. We see the dominance once again coming out of Paradox on this X Ball. I know you love to see
You
that,
do not have to
but
bring it up.
but we see Odin clearing lane, Smallface looking for the what is it called?
Cooldown
I just
buff.
completely blank.
Good enough.
No, not the cooldown buff, the one
Oh,
that's
the
in front of the
bastions.
tower. The Bastion, the Bastion. They grab the Bastion. Yeah, great chair one caster right here. I know what everything's called. I know the names of everything. And we look at Bob trying to engage, but like I heard before, two solo laners fighting at 17 minutes is kind of just like people boxing with pillows. However, there isn't a Willix coming over here looking for something, misses the knockup, and it looks like Chef Baba is in full retreat, as is Vanilla Bun decided after the knockup, you know what? I'm alright. I'm good. We just see
Surprised to
three
not
people
see
in
this
here.
blue buff invade coming out immediately, but I mean, Chef Baba gonna be able to secure his own blue buff, and just
Yeah,
kind of
Tide is backed
wasted
off.
time over here for Cyberpunk Outer.
Yeah, we see the two-person rotation, and Rory's looking for the ultimate to grab the Scylla, does not manage to pick it up. He's very comfortable diving tower, is Rory, and he's done it a couple times before. That time unsuccessful, grabbing the beads off of Busta Kappa. Scylla manages to get away, and looks like there's going to be a fight over this beacon. The X-Ball ultimate comes up. It is just Rory standing by himself on this beacon as the rest of his team is on the way. Scooby Daddy Doo putting out a lot of damage onto this Awilix. Odin Cage comes out. Chef Baba makes the rotation. Smallface on the way, but Awilix is low. Odin jumps in. Chef Baba picks up Vanilla Bun on the back. Jacob manages to pick up Scooby Daddy Doo, but that Charybdis' health bar is falling down rapidly, and it looks like that might just be a dead ADC as Odin jumps in. Chef Baba grabs another kill. Smallface picks up Peavy, and right now we are 2 for 2 on both sides, but Ganesha's health is low. They are on the chase. Baba's Kitchen once more, but Bologna, Smallface managing to push them off and keep his, not his backline, but Ganesh and Scylla alive. Well done from the Bologna, coming in late, makes a late rotation, but makes the most out of it, manages to keep two of the members of his team alive.
Yeah, I mean, Baba's Kitchen kind of spread that fight a little bit too thin. I mean, Scooby was in the back; he had already used his full kit, and I mean, Jacob just comes dancing around a corner like he, and just starts slapping him, and it does do a lot. I mean, that's 3 items on a Charybdis, one of those items being Kins. That's a lot of damage coming out. So, I mean, somebody needs to be able to stand by Scooby and be like, yeah, you're safe with me, pal.
Yeah, I think that Baba and Rory kind of got a little caught up with chasing those kills, trying to secure the kills onto Vanilla and onto, I think it was Busta, and they picked up the kill onto Jacob as well, but chased a little too far, spread out, left their poor backliners alone. We hate supports that do that. The ult comes out from both ADCs to push him off of the scepter. Jacob managing to pick that one up. I guess that's one thing Charybdis ult is good for.
You know, you got me. That is uh, the best use case for Charybdis ult right there.
You hear it first. Charybdis ult does have a use as we see the Ganesha being grabbed by Rory. Damage looking to come out from the X Ball from CG Paradox, and Jacob manages to put some response damage out, but his health bar is dropping fast. The health bars of the Cyberpunk Otters are just dropping way faster than Baba's Kitchen, and honestly, Baba's has just looked like the better team than the number one seed so far in this game too. As we see the Willix grab come out, Vanilla Bun manages to pick up Chef Baba, who's just gonna jump away, but Bologna ults in. Odin Cage looking to keep the Bologna. Willix manages to break down the cage walls, but Chef Baba is going to get away from that gank. Ultimate expended on Awilix and on Bologna. Baba has to use his in response, and Cyberpunk's going to pick up the Gold Fury after that gank on the far side. And as soon as I say Baba's Kitchen just looks better, Cyberpunk, pulls something out of their bag.
Yeah, I mean, good objective steal there. A little bit concerning to see Baba's try and out secure a Scylla without that ESET ultimate down. kind of can't really get away with that one as much as you wish you could. Uh, just really need to kind of tighten that up. You gotta realize that we can't pull objectives in the face of a Scylla, and once they do that, I think they're really gonna be able to clean this up.
Yeah, and stolen away by Busta Kappa. Well done doing that. And that kind of just puts Cyberpunk right back into the game. Gold lead was around 2 to 3K. Now it's back down to around 1,000, a little bit less, maybe more like 800. If you're I guess Cyberpunk, you just even up the game. Where are you kind of looking to make your moves? You kind of looking for that strong objective play once again, or looking for picks?
Honestly, maybe just looking for picks. I mean, maybe you just try and find someone to hit with this Ganesh dash into an Awilix ult off the pop up. But Smallface kind of just taking this 2v1. He says, nah, I'm him. And I believe him.
He got hit with the full abilities of Rat and Odin and only lost probably a little bit over, maybe 35% of his health bar. So, pretty good exchange in the 2v1, forces both of them back as his team is on the way. And it looks like Cyberpunk are grouping around this fire giant. There's no way they start this, right? There's no way. Okay, yeah, they're just zoning, setting up for it. It looks like they want to start it though. But the entire team of Baba's Kitchen is there, except for Paradox, who's split pushing down that left tower, grabs the T2. And if you're Cyberpunk, you kind of just have to go on this Fire Giant, and they do. It's at about a quarter. Dharmic Pillars dropped from the Ganesha, and there's just a brawl going on. PV's low, falls to Smallface. Rory ultimate grabs two, but Fire Giant is still going down. Scooby picks up Smallface, not able to zone out. Paradox still pushing down that left Phoenix, and looks like Baba's Kitchen is looking to steal this Fire Giant, or maybe just fight. Baba picks up Vanilla Bun on this Awilix, and it's just Titus on the Fire Giant, pushes him off, but Rory might be a sacrifice. Is he
Rory,
gonna
channel
fall?
your chef
Rory,
up here. Get out of there.
Rory's trying to run away. But the Odin is here, and they're gonna get the
He's
kill
out. He's
onto the
out.
Ganesh. Rory manages to survive, manages to get out, and Chef Baba is looking for the kill onto this Ganesha. Gonna manage to pick that up. Titus falls 4-0-1 for Chef Baba, and the left Phoenix for Baba's Kitchen successfully win the 4v5, and looks like they got overwhelmed. They need to pause and reset, and we will be right back after that pause. Alrighty, and we are back into this action. We had teams pause after whatever just happened on that fire giant. Not just kidding. Scooby disconnected. But what are your thoughts on that big fight while Paradox pushes down the left Phoenix of Cyberpunk Otters?
I mean, Cyberpunk Otters, like, it looked like they were split. I mean, looked like two of them wanted to just burn fire, and the rest of them wanted to take the fight. And I think when you see somebody split pushing like that, and you can't really send someone back in time, you really just need to force the fight. You need to fight all four members of Baba's. Instead of pulling that fire giant, I think they really should have just rushed in and hard fought them.
Speaking of pulling fire giant, Baba's Kitchen are on and it's at about half health now. Now Scylla does have the ultimate to secure, but the zoning job is coming out. The ultimate comes in from Bologna, does not manage to grab it. Baba's Kitchen secure that fire giant, and the Odin
Okay.
cage came out to keep the Scylla out. Busta falls. So does Smallface. And it looks like Baba's Kitchen are definitely winning this fight. Vanilla Bun on the run, trying to escape. But it looks like
Oh,
she's not
oh,
going to be able
oh.
to. She's trying to juke. PV grabs the kill onto Vanilla Bun. Odin jumps in looking for the kill onto Titus the Reaper, onto Ganesha. But that tower hurts.
Oh.
He's going to fall to the tower.
Wow.
And Jacob gets the
Wow.
kill. The shutdown onto Baba manages to end the 5 kill streak to the tower. I'm not giving Jacob the satisfaction of getting the credit for that kill.
Nah, the
Falls to the
two did
tower.
everything. Is that
And
the
looks
secret tech? Shutting down Baba?
no.
Just make him dive
Give him
towers?
to the tower. Yeah, just give him to the tower. The tower will finally secure. That's going to be Baba's first death of the entire set. We're about, let's see, first game was about 40 minutes. We're 65 minutes into the set, and Baba finally has his first death. That is certainly something as Pyromancer goes in the favor of Baba's Kitchen, and looks like they're looking over towards this Primal Fury.
Yeah, I mean, and they should be. I mean, this X-Ball has upgraded mannequins. He does a lot of damage to these objectives. And it's just Fire Giant on top of that. I mean, I'm relatively certain the X-Ball could just come over here and solo it if he really wanted to, but instead we just see decent grouping. But now comes the difficult part. I mean, you've got a kind of difficult team to siege into. You're gonna have to siege into the disarms from Bologna, the Dharmic pillars from Ganesh. If you get knocked up in any way, shape, or form, the Oelix ult can come for you. I mean, Scylla does extreme damage and is quite good on these defenses. And you have Charybdis, who is going to be throwing little needles at you for hundreds and hundreds of damage. And so it's kind of a difficult team comp to siege into.
Yeah, the Ganesh definitely makes things complicated, as well as the disarms from Bologna. I do think though, like we talked about earlier, I think Baba's Kitchen, they're going to be really good at picking somebody out. They've got the ultimate from Odin coming in. They do have Shell on the Ganesh, which is up in 4 seconds, but they've got the pull from Jing Tian. They have the lights out. They have the cage coming out from Odin while Rat's coming over the top. I think the Babas are going to be able to grab picks on people really well as soon as anybody steps out of position from Cyberpunk. I think that it can be punished, and this game we've seen it get punished. Baba's Kitchen has done a great job of showing Cyberpunk. I guess you guys are beatable. You guys aren't perfect. Everybody drops games as we see the siege coming in, and that's going to be a middle Phoenix down. The ultimate comes out from below. The Dharmic pillars dropped, and Rory is getting low on the Jingtian
Oh,
falls to Jacob. Odin Cage come out. Rat is in the air, and they are looking for a kill. Drops down onto the Bologna. Smallface not phased by it. Pushes him back, but Ganesh is getting low. Titus has no health. Odin jumps down onto Charybdis. Used the ultimate to get away, and not the ultimate, uses the beads to get away, but Ganesh is low. Titus looks like he's gonna fall, and it looks like they're just starting to throw autos at the Titan. Back off, realize, maybe we don't do that when they can just take 3 steps backwards and heal up. But they will take this right Phoenix as Cyberpunk Otters are looking to contest for this, and they only managed to get it down to halfway. The Charybdis ult comes in, grabs Baba, and they're looking to punish this Odin for being a little bit up, not able to do so. Looks like Baba's Kitchen are deciding to back up towards this fire giant, start setting up, get some backs off, and successfully grab 2 Phoenixes, though, and half health the other one.
yeah, I would say that was a pretty successful siege there. I mean, cleanly getting two phoenixes at the cost of just one of your members really isn't the biggest deal. It's Rory. He's just there to die, I guess. I mean, Rory did what he needed to
Wow.
do before he fell over dead.
Wow.
It's just
Support lives matter, dude. Support lives matter. We see
uh,
the beacon being grabbed by
allegedly.
Baba's Kitchen. Gonna put that right Phoenix down on critical condition. I think support lives matter. It's all the support players listening. I think you matter. Even though Mr. Nacho, I repeat, Mr. Notch with a zero at the end of his name, does
Oh,
not think that any of you guys matter. So if y'all want to point DMs towards him, angry DMs, just feel free. Message Mr. Notch with a
can
zero
we ban
on
this guy
Discord.
for trying to start hate mail at me and get him out of here?
He welcomes all the hate mail that anybody could bring his way, and we
That's
see the
crazy.
pyromancer, the pyromancer looking to fall in favor of Baba's Kitchen. And I just want to point something out as they're looking towards this fire giant. Look at the damage numbers on both junglers. Feels like there hasn't really been a jungler game yet in this
I
set. Even
mean,
in the last game, like both junglers were super low damage.
yeah, but it's also kind of like, what do you do as a jungler when, I mean, if you're on Baba's Kitchen, your mid laner's kind of just killing people without you. And if you're on the side of Cyberpunk Otters, I mean, Baba's Kitchen has wards out the wazoo at pretty much all times. You can't ever find a decent way in, and you're on a pick that struggles to really get in there.
Yeah, and we do see, speaking of dying, Titus the Reaper falls to Paradox, who's now 3-0-3,
Oh,
looking pretty. Titan is at about half health, and it looks like Baba's Kitchen is going for the end. Rat up in the air, Titan at about a quarter health. Will this be the first loss for Cyberpunk Otters this season? Paradox picks up Vanilla Bun. Titan going down. Jacob Frosty Cones picks up a kill. Paradox picks up Smallface, and it's a 4v2. Cyberpunk is going to face their first loss of the Frank's retirement home season, and Baba's Kitchen are going to defeat the Kings of the Walker division, managing to grab a 2-0 sweep over Cyberpunk Otters. What an insane set. That is going to be the first loss for Cyberpunk this season.
yeah, and it was rather convincing. I mean, Scooby looked fantastic. Rory looked fantastic. Paradox 503 he looks absolutely amazing. I mean, PV being kind of just where he needs to be without ever really doing too much, you know? I mean, not really trying to make any hero plays, and I think that's what works for him. I mean, you see, he's on top of wards. He's doing exactly what you need to when you're a jungler in a position where your team can really get active and do things, and that's without even talking about Chef Baba, who just puts on an absolute clinic with this set. I just, I mean, really, really, really a good set coming out from the Baba's Kitchen here. I mean, just really, really, really good team play.
Yeah, and I do want to say, I'm looking back at game one. There were two members of Baba's Kitchen that only died once in the entire set, and that's going to be Paradox and Baba. Only had one death the whole set. Scooby was a close, had three deaths. He had two in the game one in the game two, but they're just normally a high kill, high death team that just wins games. But this game they kind of shut Cyberpunk down. Didn't really let the Awilix get any chance to do anything, and obviously Scooby was playing bully ball in the mid lane with Busta, but that's a great
Bully
win
ball.
coming. that's a, that's a great win coming out of Baba's Kitchen, managing to dethrone the Kings of the Walker division. Cyberpunk Otters suffer their first defeat in this week 8, and moving forward into week 9, Baba's Kitchen going to be facing off against Ice Age, the only other team to take a game off of Cyberpunk, and Cyberpunk's going to be facing off against Gunshow. So we'll see if Cyberpunk can bounce back and if Chef Baba and his team can continue their winning ways. I've been T Pity One on the chair one, and we have Mr. Nacho, direct all hate mail to Mr.
Oh
Nacho on
my,
Discord
this
as our
guy.
chair two. And we've got Salty on the production. We thank you for watching this recast of Cyberpunk Otters versus Baba's Kitchen, and we will catch you guys next time.